Welcome to another episode of Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy and Dino.
And sometimes Jared.
Down the Barrel Podcast is brought to you by the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association
and wolf.report. Wolf.report, a platform dedicated to elevating the voices of Minnesota hunters, trappers, and outdoor enthusiasts. Join us in advocating for responsible wolf management in Minnesota. Share your reports, photos, and stories, and together we will ensure that they are seen by all.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association, protecting the future of deer and deer hunting through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation. All right, so today we're talking with Wildlife Research Center, Sam Bergeson and Paul Landberg. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Not too bad.
Doing well.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
So Sam, so you're the president, and
Yep.
so tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Wildlife Research Center.
So I've been the president since 2016, but I've been around the company all my life. My dad and uncle started the company in 1983 when I was just a kid, and I've been around all that time. Paul Landberg, he's our director of marketing. He's been with us for a little while now, but he's been a friend of the company and worked with us in past lives for quite a lot of years. So we've known Paul for a really long time, and he's been part of the company for a while now. My dad and uncle started the company in 1983, but the story kind of goes back well before then. When they were just kids, they lived in kind of a rural area, and they were interested in trapping and hunting. And when they were real little, my uncle would give them a bounty on every mouse they caught around the house. It was back then, and they tried all kinds of different things. In the cartoons, they used cheese, to catch the mice, and they figured out pretty quickly that didn't work as well as it did in the cartoons, but they started trying other things and different baits and stuff. And then as they got older, they got interested in trapping. They read the trapping magazines and learned everything they could about scents and trapping and all that stuff. And that kind of laid the foundations for, a lifelong love of, scents and trapping and hunting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So as they got a little bit older, they were trapping. They started noticing that certain trapping ingredients that weren't really known to attract deer were attracting deer to their sets. All of a sudden they'd be seeing deer prints around their sets, and they kind of started thinking that, maybe there's some unconventional or different ingredients that would work well for attracting deer. And, they were kind of getting to hunting age and stuff and trying out a lot of different things. And as they were going along, they probably tested out hundreds of different ingredients and different formulations. And as they were going along, our first product that we came out with in 1983 was Trails End 307. Oh. So going by the name 307, they figured it was, give or take, roughly the 307th iteration that they tried with some different things that they were doing. And they'd send samples up with my with my grandpa and his hunting crew and whatnot, and they'd try it out and report back, and it was going really good. So prior to Wildlife Research Center, they were in the tree service, doing tree work and whatnot. They had all the big machineries, stump grinders and bucket trucks and all that good stuff, and they were getting pretty serious about it. So when they started, my dad went into that part-time. My uncle kept running the tree service, and the first year, my dad spent $10,000 on print advertising, and, based on the circulations of the magazine and how many people that ad would reach, they figured if, 1 out of 100 people, purchased a bottle of Trails End 307, they'd be doing really good. And, even if it was 1 out of 1,000, they'd still be doing pretty good. Well, at the end of the year, they sold 100 bottles the first year. So it wasn't quite a return on investment. It was tough, and
Yeah.
It took a lot of years, because they just had to go on the ground and go to stores and try to convince them they should carry this product. And, it's hard starting off a company. And, they kept working at it. I think it was 7 years before the company made a profit, and it was 10 or 11 years before they got to keep any of it because they just had to reinvest everything into the company. So
Yeah.
luckily, they both had patient wives that had decent jobs and were able to kind of help them through that. And
Yep.
eventually, they were able to sell off the remaining assets of the tree service and just focus on Wildlife Research Center. And And then here we are today, the leader in our category, scent and scent elimination. The rest is history. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool startup.
Yeah, I like that. I like those stories like that.
Yeah, and honestly, with that Trails N307, that was probably the first scent I ever bought.
Right,
and that was my go-to. Still is my go-to for every time I go hunting. It's like I always have at least one or two of those in my
It's
pack.
very recognizable for sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a really unique product because it still has the doe urine with ester secretions. People are looking for the doe and heat type scents, but then it adds in a lot of other ingredients that deer really like. So you get all kinds of attraction. You get that sexual attraction from an estrus scent, but then you get curiosity attraction too. So it brings it all in together. It works good on bucks and does, and it works good all season long. So I know, especially for kids that are starting off, there's no better scent to use because you just get more action and get stuff going. Makes it pretty for them.
And Dean, you kind of mentioned it too. We kind of call it the old trusty. It's kind of like when a guy pulls out a daredevil. Because you're just getting into it. It's one of your go-to things. That 307 is kind of that old trusty.
Yeah,
that old red and white. Yep. That old red and white. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So is Wildlife Research like the first scent control company? There
was some other companies that were kind of dabbling a little bit, but Wildlife Research Center in the late 80s was the first company to come out with a truly odorless scent elimination formula.
Okay.
The ones before that had strong smells to them and whatnot, and obviously when you're in the woods, not having any smell is what you're going for. With scent elimination, we've had a lot of iterations over the years and continue to make improvements. We've worked with experts in different fields and, testing all kinds of different testing and whatnot. And our supercharged scent killer formula was found to be 99% effective at stopping replicated human odor in testing at Rutgers University. And then our best formula, our newest formula, our Scent Killer Gold with Hunt Dry Technology Plus, that one was found to be over 99% 20 days after drying and testing at Rutgers University.
Wow.
That testing is kind of interesting. So it's pass-through testing. So what they do is they'll treat fabric, just like you have in your clothing, and they'll put a source of odor, and they use surrogate human odor, actual compounds from human odor. You can't really collect human odor in a vial, or at least not in a consistent fashion.
My house.
But you basically get that, put it in there, and then you measure how much of that odor makes it through the fabric. And that's kind of what's happening when you're out in the woods. You spray down, you get rid of the odor that's in there. But then as you're going along, you're hiking through the woods, you get a little warm in your hunting clothes, you start sweating. As that's going through, you're essentially, when you spray down your clothes, you're turning it into a high-power scent elimination suit to take those odors, break them down, and destroy them so that they don't get out where the deer can smell it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can never be, no matter what you do, you're never going to be 100% odor-free.
I know I won't be.
Especially me.
But what we tell people is there's a couple different analogies we like to use to kind of explain it or make sense of it. So one is a fire alarm. So if you're in the kitchen, you're cooking some food, and you get a little bit of smoke that comes off, a little bit isn't going to set off the alarm. But if you hit a certain level, all of a sudden it's going to set that smoke alarm off. And the deer works the same way. If they smell that faint smell, it isn't going to set that alarm off. But you get to a certain point, and all of a sudden they get spooked and they bolt. Another one we like to use is the smell of a skunk. If you smell the faint smell of a skunk, there's a skunk out there somewhere off in the distance, but you're not too concerned about it, and you're going to go about your business. But if you're hiking along down the trail and all of a sudden you smell a really strong smell of a skunk, all of a sudden you're going to be on high alert because
you ended up in Colorado.
Yeah. So that was a big deal coming in, with the scent. We started off with the Trails N307, and then another big story was our special golden estrus. Way back in the early days, we had Trails N307, we had doe and heat, and we had doe urine, some other products. But as a special favor for some of our friends and in the industry and whatnot, we would get special samples of extra fresh doe and heat and kind of get those to them right as we were hitting the rut. And they were pretty excited about that, and they started wondering if we could come out with that as a product, where you had the extra fresh and extra premium. So we kind of looked into that, and that's where our special golden estrus came from, where it's dated for use each year, so it's fresh. And so that's our most premium doe estrus type scent that we have. That's a really good one. And as Paul was saying with the old trustees, we like to experiment with a lot of different things. We have so many different scent products. A lot of cool things, and I love to tinker and go out there and try different things. It's just like fishing. You go to the store, you see some new lures you want to try out.
Yep.
Pretty good luck, but then you always want to have your old trustees that if things are tough, you want to make sure you got the ones that you always love to go back to. And for me, Special Golden Estrus and Trails M307 are some of my favorites.
Yeah, well, for sure. You guys come up with a lot of new products too. I mean, I see them all the time now. Do you guys get to come up with them, or do you got a team that does that?
It's pretty much internal. We get suggestions from people, but a lot of it is just looking at what the market demands, what they're looking for. And, we have huge lists of ideas and, hundreds of ideas that we always have on paper, and we talk through them. We have meetings periodically and debate different things, try different things. And, when some of those ideas are, after you talk about them, not the best ideas, and then you get other ones that are really good ideas, but it just doesn't work. And then you get some that work really good and are a really good idea, and those are the ones we try to chase after. We don't get all of them right, but we work really hard at that. And we've had some pretty big successes. Obviously with our scent elimination, we've done really well with that. Some of our new and cutting edge stuff we got on that. One of the exciting new products for this year is our new laundry sheets. So in the regular laundry world, they're starting to make these ultra concentrated sheets. So instead of having a big bottle of liquid, you got these things that look like an extra thick dryer sheet, and you tear them apart and you put them in the washing machine, and it's ultra concentrated laundry detergent that mixes in with the water. So it's super lightweight and easy to use. You don't have the mess of the bottle and whatnot. So I think that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
On the scent side, we've had all kinds of developments with, we've had natural and synthetic scents, because in some areas, they require synthetic versus natural scents. So we have both available, and we got really good formulas. But with the development of those synthetic scents, we've come up with some other things that work really good and to enhance the performance of those. And like our scent reflex technology, we've used that both in synthetic and in natural scents to boost the performance. So some of our products have that. And then one of the other things that really kind of helped get our company on the map years ago was our scrape drippers. We came out with the Ultimate Scrape Dripper, and what's really neat about that is it drips daytime only. So it conditions bucks to visit during daytime hunting hours. So you fill it, the version that we sell now, the Magnum Scrape Dripper, you put a 4-ounce bottle of scent in there, and you hang it up, and it'll go for about 2 to 3 weeks. That drips a little bit each day during daytime hunting hours. If you get rain or bad weather, a lot of times it'll shut down, but then, that buck's going to come by and he smells that scrape scent, smells like there's does and maybe an intruding buck visiting that scrape site, and they're going to keep trying to zero in. And I don't, with trail cameras and whatnot, back in the old days when we did field testing, you'd bring a rake out there and you'd scrape up the area so you'd have dirt and get it all cleaned up, and then you'd count deer tracks, when you'd set something up for testing and see kind of the response rate. Now with the deer cameras, it's just so much easier, and now with the cell cameras, even you can get the results even faster. And I'll bet you over the years, we've reviewed at least hundreds of thousands of trail camera photos. I'll bet it's millions by now, with all the different setups that we do and different things like that. So when you see those drippers out there dripping the day, you'll see the bucks coming at night, and then you'll see them slowly adjusting a little bit each day to try to intercept either that intruding buck or the doe in heat. And
I've had one out in front of one of my box blinds for about 7-8 years now. I just put more in it every year. Just fill her up, and there's always been a scrape there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those interaction sites. I mean, you get those interaction sites going. It could be something that they could use year after year.
Yeah,
they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah, and you guys have that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and that new, was it just a couple years ago, that golden rope?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we launched that last year, the golden rope.
Last year. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool.
It's really cool. So, we've been messing around. We kind of heard from hunters and stuff like that and played around. We've been messing around with these ropes in the woods probably for about 10 or 15 years. And it's amazing because, the deer, they'll come up and they'll interact with them and they leave their scent on them. And you just create these hot spots. They just keep coming and visiting. Other animals really like them too, but the deer just absolutely love them. They can leave their scent behind and they attract all year round. So for trail camera sites and whatnot, it's just really exciting. You can put scent on them. We have a golden rope scent that our kit comes with. So the kit that we came out last year comes with 3 of these ropes, and it comes with cable ties so that you can hang them up. It comes with the scent concentrate that you mix up in this jar and you can dip them in there. And it's just amazing. And it was a huge success last year with our customers and whatnot. Everybody's really liking it. And this year we've come out with 5 additional new rope products. Just because it's so exciting. So we're selling that concentrate by itself now, so the people who have already bought them can get refills for that. We have an aerosol spray version that's not concentrated, but it's the regular version that you can spray on there. So if you're just going out and want to touch up your ropes, you can go and spray it down. It's real easy to carry. And then we have a few other rope kits too. We have a single rope kit for somebody who just needs one. We have one that's packaged with the Magnum scrape dripper, so you can set up a rope and a dripper either in the same branch or nearby to get those extra interactions. And then we have one that has our ActiBranch branch holder, so that if sometimes, by your stand, you might have a lot of mature trees, so you don't have any low branches to hang on. So you can set that up somewhere it's in a good shooting lane, and then it creates an site where you got the interaction branch or licking branch, and then you can have that rope or a dripper. So with all those tools, you can essentially create the ultimate trophy buck playground, and get those deer interacting. And it's interesting with the ropes or any scent setup. If you got a deer stand site, you set up 3 of those ropes all within view in different spots. There's always going to be one that they hit a lot harder than the other 2. And, for us figuring out what it is, sometimes you can have theories and whatnot of what's driving it, but deer do what deer do. And
so no doubt.
More is better, we figure, because you're bound to hit one of those hot spots if you do that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Some of them probably like that, that community spot or the number of deer hitting, and some of them probably like their own.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and you guys you've expanded beyond just deer as well. And I know, so we do an annual coyote trip down to Kansas, and we brought some of your coyote attractant, the coyote juice with us. And it says right on the bottle, "Do not put on yourself. You might be attacked." And I don't know if we walked through it after we dumped some out or what, but yeah, we had one come in pretty hot and bothered right up to us
on her shoulder almost.
I mean, I might have poured some on you just to test it, and he was within about
5 feet.
Yeah, he was pretty close.
Right behind us. He came in right into us.
Yep.
Wow.
That's exciting. That's
cool.
We used my dad and I would set up, we'd do like a dirt hole set like trappers use, where you put a hole and you put scent down in it, and the canines would come, or the animals would come and try to dig in there. That way you get them kind of in the area for longer. But we wouldn't do it with a trap. We just set it up in front of the trail camera, but we'd use the coyote juice and do that. And we get coyotes and wolves and all kinds of stuff coming in and check that out. And sometimes you get, hundreds or even thousands of pictures over a period of time of them coming in and doing that. And it's interesting because predators, if you ever try to get trail camera photos of predators, they tend to be a lot more elusive. They see those cameras and they're pretty shy of them. So when you first put a camera out in a new spot, the predators will really avoid it. I think they'll do a big circle to get around it and avoid it and whatnot. But you put that stuff out, and over time, they'll just warm up to it. And you'll see them still stop there and look at the camera, but they'll check that spot out and hang around, dig it up. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then you guys actually have a trail cam scent, right?
Yep, we did have that.
I did have
and it worked awesome. And that's the thing. That's where I was talking about. You get some of those ideas that are good, and it was a good idea. It worked just amazingly good because you could set it up and get the interactions, but it just didn't go that well. It wasn't super popular, so we phased that one out. But I'll tell you, the rope stuff has just swooped in and really
good. Yeah,
the plates on that. So it's been really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I know we're fortunate enough to carry a lot of your product, and it sells well. I saw you packing up a box for a banquet today.
Yeah, and then I think I probably buy a lot of it as well.
Yeah, well, every year.
It's like, okay, I'm hunting this weekend. I need some of this, and I spilt my scent. I need this, and then
we got to get new stuff every year.
Well, exactly, and then the odor control, those ozone,
the tote tamers.
Yeah, tote tamers. Yeah.
No, I buy they've got like that whole personal care kit package thing. It's got the laundry detergent, the body wash, the wipes, everything. I get one of those every season, and that stuff just lives in my truck. Actually, I was driving the kids to daycare last week, and I felt this little spritz on the back of my neck, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And one of my little 2-year-olds got a hold of the spray bottle of the Scent Killer Gold.
He's trying to tell you something, Jared.
Oh man, I wish it would have been like 307 or something. That would have been awesome.
Oh yeah, even better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the scent elimination stuff isn't so bad because it doesn't stink things up. But boy, you smell it in your car, and that's no fun. You want to make sure you're tight.
No, but we love the innovation. That's what I like about you guys the best is you never know. I go to your website and what products we're going to see, like the rope. I was like, man, when I seen that was like, that is a great idea. It's like, why wasn't that out there before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so exciting, and we're just such good response, and we're just a year into it here on the market, and it's catching fire.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure you got all kinds of secret ideas too out there that you're just waiting to bring to market too that are going to be just as good.
We got a lot of different things, and sometimes it's just a timing issue. You come out with something. That's why we've been working on that for a long time. But sometimes when you come out with a new idea too soon before people are ready for it, it doesn't catch on, and then it's hard to keep it going out there. So, timing is a factor when people are kind of ready and interested in the topic. And
right.
Well, and then, we're all kind of creatures of habit. Right. So we're always, I see, I go to L&M and it's like, oh, I need some more stuff from Wildlife Research. So I need this, this, and this. And that's what I grab. And I go, oh, what else do they got? Yeah, it's kind of cool, but I've already got, $60 worth of stuff here. So I'll just, next time I come back, so.
Well, you get that new stuff like the rope. And it's like, as hunters, we always want to try to give ourselves the edge. Yep. It's like, okay, this might do it. This might do it. And you can't pass it by because when you're walking away, if you didn't get it, you're like, well, that might have done the trick.
Turned around my seat.
But sometimes we're a little slow when it comes to new things.
Well, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We always looking for that edge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the cool thing with attractor scents and these scent products and whatnot. They're not magic. If you put the scent out, it's not going to guarantee you a 12-point buck is going to come strolling by. But it does boost your odds. If they're in the area. It's going to catch their interest and check it out. And, we have people call us up and they ask about the scents and, they say it didn't work. The deer came along and sniffed around, but they didn't walk right up to the wick and touch their nose to the wick. Well, they don't usually do that. I mean,
right.
With the trapping background, I mean, that is kind of the ultimate is when you put out you put a bunch of time into it, you get everything just right and the perfect scent set up and that deer comes right into the wick. I mean, that's the most gratifying thing ever because you just got everything perfect. But most of the time, they'll come into the area, they smell something, they want to check it out. So they've come into the area, they're sniffing around, they don't see what they smell, and then they kind of move on. They thought they smelled that doe, she's not there, and continue on, or whatever the other attractor scent is that they're picking up on. But definitely boost your odds. And it's the same thing with scent elimination. I hear people say, they did this, that, and the other, and they went out there and then they got a deer. It's going to depend on the amount of pressure on the deer. I see deer in my backyard and, we're not doing anything there, but they're used to people being around. But you get out in the woods, they're not used to it. They're going to be a lot more touchy if there's a lot of predation or other things going on, they're going to be there. And the more steps you take, that's people always say, well, what do I got to do? I know people who just spray down before they go in the woods. I know people who just go to unbelievable extremes in scent elimination. And I just tell people, do as much as is reasonable for you, because every step you take, if you don't do anything else, spray down with scent killer, spray down your clothes, spray down your boots before you go out there. That'll make a huge amount of difference. Each additional step you do will just help you that much more. And, you know, those big deer, they get big for a reason. And,
right.
You know, just like people, they make mistakes once in a while. But, you know, if you want to see more big deer more often, you know, you want to make sure you're doing as much as you can to eliminate your scent and not bring foreign odors out there.
Yeah, for sure. I know I use every bit of, you know, a lot of you guys' product, obviously. And what I find funny is I've been at hunts with guys and, you know, spraying down. They go, oh, that stuff doesn't work. It's like, oh, yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. As he is smoking a cigarette and standing right by the exhaust of his truck.
Right.
You know, and it's like, there's a reason it doesn't
wiping
work
his
for
Taco Bell on his pants.
Right. So it's like, I mean, and like you said, I've seen guys that go to the extreme, you know, they have all their clothes in a scent-free bag and they walk out to their stand, you know, in just their long johns and then get dressed at their stand, which good for you. I should probably do that because I sweat a lot because I'm fat as I'm walking to the stand. But you know, I still have the same routine every time. You know, I spray down when I get out of the truck, spray everything. You know, put on a little bit of cover scent or you know something on my boots, and then when I get into the stand, I spray again. And then as I'm up there and I know I'm sweating, I usually spray another time. You know, or I put my scents out and spray. So I mean, that's kind of my ritual that I've done for years. And I've had deer come into the scents, you know, and then I've had them not come in. So it's just kind of one of those things, or to the attractants, I should say. So,
right.
And
I like it because they come in and stop. Mm-hmm. Right. It gives them a reason to stop and think about it for even a second and then give you a shot. That's what I like about some of them.
Yeah, I've had a lot of deer I got. It was just a split-second decision.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they were on the move, and boy, you didn't make a quick decision. You missed your opportunity. And you know, and even on the scent elimination, I mean, you said it perfect, Dean. Is, you know, sometimes you do everything right, and other times, I mean, you know, I do this for a living, and I'm guilty of getting lazy once in a while. I'll be rushing out after work, trying to get up and sit in an evening stand, or get out there quick, and I cut some corners, and I don't do everything I need to do, and it does make a difference. Sometimes you still see deer, sometimes you don't see them, and you know, I know for a fact that when I do everything I possibly can, I see more deer on average.
Right.
They're moving more or less, but it makes a difference.
Well, like Sam does too, you know, going out after work a lot of times. I mean, that's where some of our other products like our wipes or our washcloths come in. I mean, you can do everything right with your, you know, washing your clothes and our soap and our detergent and doing all those things. But then you got to go to work. If you're trying to make it to your stand before, you know, an hour before sunset, let's say, having those wipes and stuff in your truck to wipe yourself down when you get there is another thing you can do to just put that another level of protection there.
Right.
Well, and I love those wipes. You know, I have the body wash and all that too, but you know, my deer shack does not have running water, and so that's where the wipes really come into handy for me.
You know, for a few days, it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy him more wipes.
Yeah, they should be living the truck.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I definitely am guilty of cutting corners as well. But one thing I will never go out in the woods without is just spraying myself down with the scent killer gold. You know, so at least I'm doing something.
Right.
And that does a lot. Like I said earlier, if there's nothing else you can do, if you at least spray down your clothes, I mean, that'll take a big swath of it out of there and really lower you on that detection level.
Yeah. And I do have one scent bag that, especially for my early season, what I'll do is I'll spray it down with that autumn formula. So, you know, then a few weeks later, you open it up. I remember opening up in the house one time to throw my release or something in there. And the wife was like, what is that dirt smell? I go, oh, that's my clothes. And I go, you stink. I go, but to a deer, I smell just like dirt. So I'm good with that, you know.
It smells good to a deer.
Yep, exactly. And I like to do that with my early stuff. And then, kind of when it gets to rifle season, then I don't worry about that end of it, but just a regular, scent killer gold. So,
right.
So it's probably hard to tell as, but real versus synthetic, or is it kind of even split, or is real obviously better or synthetic?
Well, we sell both. The natural urine-based scents are way more popular than the synthetic. And, when you look at the biological breakdown, natural urine contains hundreds or even thousands of biological compounds. It's a very complex thing. And in our development of synthetic scents, we've done a lot of GC mass spec analysis and different things like that with scientists and different things to break down and figure out what do those components contribute to the odor profile, and then trying to get those ingredients and put them together and keep them stable and to mimic that is really, really difficult. Now, we've come up with synthetics that work amazingly well, work really good, and I'm happy to use them out in the field. They work so good. Mm-hmm. But most hunters you ask, they're going to say it's not as good as the real thing, and it's hard to argue with that. I mean, you real deer smell is hard to duplicate and hard to replicate. Yeah. So for those that have to use synthetics, we got really good products out there, and some people prefer to use that, and that's okay. They work really good, but definitely the natural products are the most popular.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then, obviously we kind of covered your best-selling products, for the most part. So, I mean, we pretty much cover that. But you guys are in, this is probably a dumb question, but all 50 states, right?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Our products are sold throughout the United States and Canada. Okay. Said we do different animals. We have bear lure and coyote and some different things like that, elk. Our biggest business is deer. I mean, that's really what we specialize in. And so, mostly in the eastern half of the country, there's definitely deer markets in the west, but the style of hunting is a little different in a lot of places out west and whatnot. So that's the most popular. And as far as retailers, I mean, just about anybody who carries hunting products carries our products nowadays. In those early days, it was a long, hard road. It was really tough. But now, everywhere from your local or archery shop all the way up to, Bass Pro and Cabela's or Walmart or any of those. Mm-hmm. You can find it most anywhere. A lot of the farm and fleets that are really popular in Minnesota here, mm-hmm. farm and whatnot. So, yeah, we've really done well over the years and a lot of places. And, one of the things that's really helped us is we guarantee our products. All of our products are 100% money back guaranteed, direct by wildlife. So if somebody uses our products and they're not happy with the performance, they can send it back and we'll refund their purchase price. We started offering that guarantee right from the start in 1983, and decades later, we still offer that. I mean, we really believe in our products. Most of the people in the building here that work with us are hunters, and they use the products. It's just amazing, over the years, taking care of our customers. Again, we always try to follow the golden rule. Treat our customers the way we'd like to be treated. We make good products. If they have problems, we try to help them out. We take their calls. We always answer the phone. Just trying to do a good job. And, we're still family owned and operated. And that's one of the things that I think kind of helped is we got people who are really invested and really care in what we're doing. There's so many brands in the hunting industry that have gotten bought up by these investment groups and stuff like that. And there's been some just legacy brands out there that have just kind of withered away because they just don't get the attention and don't have the same focus that they used to have when they were family-owned companies and whatnot. So, that's something we really believe in and don't intend to have change anytime soon. So,
right. And you guys are located right here in Minnesota, correct?
Yep. So our office is in Ramsey, Minnesota, kind of in the middle of the state here. And we've been in this area. We were just in a neighboring town when we first started out, and kind of been in this area that whole time. And
that's great. And how many employees do you guys have down there, if you don't mind me asking?
In the building here, we probably have close to 20 employees.
Okay.
Including my dad, including myself and my uncle. And then, we have sales reps and we have, a lot of other companies that we work with and partner with on a lot of different things. So
those 20 employees make all that product or package all that product or whatever it is.
We do a lot of the stuff in-house, and then we have a lot of partners that we work with too.
Okay.
Different aspects of packaging.
I was like, man, that's got to be a lot of work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, going back to what you were just speaking to, if you are not able to successfully harvest a deer, don't blame wildlife research. I mean, come on. That is on you. All right. It is not your scent control's fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with, with you saying family owned, local, since the beginning. I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
With all these other companies being bought up, and you lose that customer service, you lose that quality control. I mean, I see it, and I'll probably make some of our distributors mad, but it's like, man, when these bigger companies buy out some of these smaller ones, it's kind of like, I don't want to carry that product anymore.
Well, they lose something for sure.
Yeah, because they're just gonna, farm it out to whoever's can do it the cheapest and fastest, and it's just not the same. So with you guys being family owned from the beginning, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about customer service. And we definitely get that with you all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's our job, so obviously we want to make money and have income, but scent and scent elimination is our passion. I mean, that's all we do, and we do it better than anybody else out there. And we love what we do. All the employees here, everybody's very invested in it. They take ownership on how the company is doing and how we're treating our customers and stuff. And that's one of the things that is just so exciting. We have such a great team of people here. We have almost no turnover. We have people that have worked here for decades and, been part of this company, and, it's just awesome. It's like here, and we work hard and we want to make good products and help hunters be more successful. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. There's something to be said about that, that small turnover or no turnover and dedicated people.
Family owned.
Yep.
Yep.
Minnesota owned.
So you guys be down at the Deer and Turkey Classic, obviously coming up here in just
2 weeks?
like
Yes, sir.
10 days, something like that. Mm-hmm. So you guys have an excellent booth, and it's right as you come into the main pavilion. That's pretty cool.
You can't miss it. Mm-hmm.
And you guys will have Melissa Bachman there. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're going to have Melissa will be there at our booth on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. So all 3 days, Friday through Sunday, she'll be there. She'll, of course, be doing her seminars that she does and talking about different subjects, some of it, that relates to ours as well. But she'll be there. And then on Saturday, we're having Don and Candy Kiske from Whitetail Freaks will be at our booth all day on Saturday as well. So that's
cool.
An exciting point for not only us, but obviously the people coming. And then also locally, Todd Ammonrood is going to be there all 3 days as well. Local, a well-known deer hunter from this area. So we're going to be there all 3 days.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And we're just around the corner from you. So
that's right.
So that's kind of neat. So, and if you walk in and you see their booth, just come around the corner and say hi to us too. It's because we're all right there.
Yeah. Well, we say hi to you guys like 10 times a day as we're walking back and forth from various things.
Yeah. We usually come over, say hi to Melissa a little bit. And I'm kind of excited for, the Kiskis to be there, because I just watched a video with them the other night. That they were, I think they're actually hunting Kansas. That's probably why I watched it. So
more than likely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Sure.
And Paul, you're going to be down there, right?
Yes, sir. I will be down there on Friday and probably show up a little bit Saturday morning as well.
Okay.
So,
Sam, are you going to be down there at all?
I may or may not be.
Okay, that's nice.
Activities, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see you guys there. Well, I know we'll see Paul there. We always do.
Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm. We'll have several other guys down there too. So
right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Kiskis, I just noticed this in our store today, and it's probably been around for a long time. But you had the whole scent killer package for her. And I'm wondering what's the difference. I mean, I know it comes with like a loofah, but is there much else that's a difference there?
It's very similar and whatnot, but we had some special formulas and whatnot that were, extra good. Had the hair conditioner. A lot of us guys don't have that. There's a few that do, but a lot of us don't have much hair, don't have any at all. So
not much.
Back in the day, I could use that.
The sunroof's getting a little thin these days.
Same here.
But yeah, there's some really good stuff in there. So
right. That just goes to show you there's something for the whole family.
Something for the whole family.
Something for the whole family.
Yep.
It's a new tagline, right? Something for the whole family. Wildlife Research Center.
We do it all.
Yeah, I know there's going to be some giveaways and different things like that down at the Deer Classic. So
yeah, look forward to everybody come through that we can.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's a good show. Looking forward to it.
So we were curious a little bit about, kind of your role with the deer protection program and the RT-QuIC, live CWD test that's in development.
Yep. So years ago, as CWD was really starting to get on everybody's radar and whatnot, we started kind of checking around because we were thinking, well, geez, what's going on with the CWD stuff? How is it spread? What's going on? We were concerned because we're using natural deer urine. Is there anything we need to be concerned about there? And we reached out to some of the experts that had done the actual university studies and whatnot relating to deer urine and talked to them and going through it with them and whatnot. In deer with CWD, the levels of prions, the infectious agents for CWD that can exist in the urine are at such extremely low levels that when we talk to them about how our products are used and the application and whatnot, they said there really isn't a big risk there because it's at such low levels that that's not really the route in which the disease is going to be getting transmitted. But nonetheless, we still wanted to just be absolutely sure that our products were safe. So we started looking into different things. We worked with the Archery Trade Association, really helped us out. We worked with disease experts, wildlife agencies, and a lot of other folks and brainstormed on what we could do. And over a period of time, we developed the Deer Protection Program. So that was put in place, and it was run by the ATA for a number of years, and then it transitioned over to the Responsible Hunting Scent Association. But with that, it put a lot of biosecurity measures in place for the collection facilities where the urine is being collected to help protect those deer from getting CWD. And so we got that into place. There's a relatively small number of collection facilities that are qualified for the program and that are in this, because it's very stringent standards. They follow a lot of federal and state regulations and then all the extra deer protection program requirements. But then more than half a decade ago now, us and one of our biggest competitors, we worked with some of those same scientists that have done like the RT-QuIC testing and all this stuff at Colorado State University. And with their help, they developed an RT-QuIC test for urine so that urine is actually quite hard to test. So with the methods that they have, what it does is it actually goes through and it would concentrate any prions that exist in the urine if they existed, and then they can go through their RT-QuIC test method to measure that and determine if there's any present or to determine if they can detect any. And in doing that, so we've been RT-QuIC testing our urine for more than half a decade. And shortly after we began doing that, we actually made it a requirement to the Deer Protection Program. So all manufacturers that are in the Deer Protection Program are required to RT-QuIC test all of the urine that goes into their products prior to distribution. So,
awesome.
Today, all the big brands, Wildlife Research Center, but the other brands that you hear about or see in the stores, the Tanks, the Buck Bomb, the Code Blue, the Conquest, all those different brands, all those guys are members of the program as well. Mm-hmm. And even though we're competitors, we all work closely together on industry issues and with the CWD issues and whatnot to make sure, because, again, at the end of the day, we want to make sure our products are safe, and with all those measures that we take, and especially with the RT-QuIC testing as a final confirmation that no CWD is detected in those products, that's just huge. And making sure that, we police our industry and make sure that people are doing the right thing and whatnot, because we just don't want to take a chance. For us, at the end of the day, we want to sell products, but at the end of the day, we care about the deer and the resource and hunters and what we can do with this. So we want to do everything we can to protect that and to be good stewards.
Yeah, that's great. We definitely appreciate you doing that. Are you able to speak to what some of those other mitigation efforts are that are in place beyond the final testing?
Yeah, so the big things, so as far as the biosecurity measures, one big thing is they're closed herds, so they don't have importation of deer from other facilities. And, under certain structures for deer farms and whatnot, that's challenging. But the people who are, collecting the urine for our industry, they're committed to that aspect. It's a very specialized thing, so they do that. They have to test every deer that dies on the facility has to be tested for CWD. They have to be in a federally approved herd certification program to make sure that they're doing all those steps. And then there's a lot of other biosecurity measures just to, prevent other things from getting into the facility that could be, a potential for CWD.
Right.
So,
Awesome. I think that's great. I think it's great that you guys took the initiative to do that as an industry. I mean, that says a lot that you care about your product and you care about your customers too.
Yeah. And to take that on without being forced to take it on. Right. That speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
And I've worked with so many different state wildlife agencies over the years, working on rules and whatnot. And, when they're looking at stuff like that, and doing what we've done with that has really helped a lot in those relationships and, making sure that our products are safe and
we appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, and for more information on that, I saw you guys had on a resources page of your website that talks about that a little bit more. So that was very informative as well. So, so that's really nice.
Yeah, so there must be like a seal or a logo or something for that DPP, right? So when somebody's buying product, they can look for that too, right?
Yep. So all the products, all of our products will have the DPP logo. And you have to be a participating member of the Deer Protection Program, the Responsible Hunting Scent Association Deer Protection Program, and then you're licensed to be able to use that logo on your products by following all those measures. And then there's also the RT-QuIC tested logo. So do that testing, and there's a license agreement for that. So you have to go through all these and do paperwork and make sure that you're following all these rules to be able to use those logos on your product. So places you go, you'll see those logos on all the products.
That's great. That's great.
For a local or something like that who's doing their own thing, but definitely be looking for that. The R8, the DPP check mark, and the RT-QuIC tested logo.
Yeah. So
cool. That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, that's I love seeing that. I mean, that's kind of programs we need to see more of.
Yeah. Yep. And kind of like we, obviously you guys have been partners with MDHA for quite some time.
I don't know
before I got here.
I'll bet it's been decades. My dad has a plaque in there for being a lifetime member. And, I think that's got to be at least 30 years old, maybe older. I'm not sure. An old granite plaque. It's really cool. But we've worked with you guys, and you guys have supported us, and we've supported you. Obviously we're a Minnesota company, so you guys are right in there with us here in the state of Minnesota. And we support a lot of organizations because again, it's about deer and deer hunting and the resource, and we want to give back and support that stuff because hunters, at the end of the day, hunters being successful and having the opportunity to hunt, I want my kids to be able to hunt and enjoy that resource, and their kids. And you guys do a lot of work. I'm involved with the National Deer Association. I'm actually on the board of directors for that, and they're doing a lot of work. And the Responsible Hunting Scent Association, we're on the board of directors for that as well. And we try to be involved in a lot of these organizations, contribute where we can. And
yeah, that's great.
help stuff out. So,
Well,
yeah, and I'm a member of NDA as well, and have been for quite some time. And before the merge and everything, so yeah, I've been really supportive of them over the years as well. So that's really neat.
Yeah.
Well, great. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Any new exciting things coming down the road?
Exclusive
Insights
insights into some upcoming products or
something
anything?
you can guarantee us a 12-point buck? Anything like that coming down the road?
12-point buck guarantee. Yeah. Well, working on that one.
Marketing. You should be on that, Paul. Come on.
Yeah. We're working on that one right now.
Perfect.
we're always working on stuff. So, again, support us. The scent elimination, scent killer, special golden asterisk, trails N307, the golden rope. I'll tell you, that golden rope is so much fun in front of the trail cameras and getting all that excitement. I mean, it's fun to look at your trail camera images, and if you get more action, that's just really exciting.
It's a bonus. We'll see what you got.
Yeah,
and you can get those going in the spring. You don't have to wait till fall to put those out. You can put them up in the spring, and you'll start getting action all summer long. You can create hot spots, hopefully right by your deer hunting stand, so that you're primed and ready to go when fall comes.
Right.
Yeah, that's one I have not used, but I am excited to put it out this spring.
Yeah,
I know. I'm thinking I might even grab one and take it down with one in Kansas and just put it up and put one of my trail cams out just to see what's cruising around down there.
Get it going early and put that camera on and get that interaction.
That's a good idea, actually, Dino.
We've even got some digital footage or digital spots that we put together with some footage of deer coming to them year round. Just all different in January, March.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, and the predator stuff too. I'll definitely be using some of that. So
yes,
we'll bring more. We'll bathe Dean in it and make him go.
See if I can get
sit in the middle of the field.
Yep.
Yeah, we want this time.
Check the validity of that warning.
I'll be the decoy.
There you go.
I'll tell you the story behind why we put that warning on most of our products is, hopefully I'm not ranging any copyright issues, but years ago there was that famous video that they had where the guy dumped a bunch of deer scent on himself and was getting attacked by the deer.
Yep.
I think in the early 90s, and that was special golden asterisk he put on himself. We actually got to promote that a little bit way back when, but
that's awesome.
Wouldn't recommend it, but
right.
Yeah, that video looked like it hurt a little bit.
Hey, it's worth it.
Hey,
if I
remember correctly, that was a nice buck.
Right.
Well, we won't take up too much of your time. We really appreciate you guys coming on.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you in 10 days.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. It was fun talking with you guys. And
it was nice to meet you, Sam.
Forward to continuing to work with you guys for a long time to come.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. And
we love your stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We definitely do. And maybe down the road when some new products come out, maybe we'll do it again. Or if we get time at some point, maybe we'll run down to Ramsey and get a tour of the facility and
there you go.
Yeah, we'd love to
do
have
something
you.
like that. That'd be kind of cool. So
We'll be in Ramsey this summer.
Game fair.
Game fair. Yeah, we're right there during the game fair. So
There you go.
Absolutely, we'd love to.
we'll have to find some time.
Let us know.
Great.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks
a
guys.
lot. We'll see you guys hopefully in 10 days.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
We'll see you.
Have a good one.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Report proudly sponsor this podcast. However, please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or missions of our sponsors.
The views expressed by Jimmy and Dino and podcast guests are solely their own and do not represent the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf Report.